Yo, so I'm reminded of the Sliders episode. You know what's so fucking weird? You know what's weird the more I think about it? Out of every Sliders TV show episode that comes to mind, because I often think about the shows that I watched as a kid. You know, when you're just kind of living your life, man, you're like, oh yeah, remember I used to watch that show Cheers, or like Night Court, or like Bob Newhart, or, you know, Roseanne, or I'm not trying to politicize anything. I like Roseanne. You know, or Punky Brewster, or like Family Ties, or like Leave It to Beaver, or I Dream of Jeannie. I'm just saying. Bewitched. Gilligan's Island. Love Boat. You know, that's how humans are. It's like in the background of your mind. You just kind of, you know, reminisce and go into reverie about, you know, things that you enjoyed as a child. Or, you know, at an earlier time in your life. Doesn't even have to be when you're a child. Could be any time. So, I often think about the TV show Sliders because it's an amazing show. And not everyone is familiar with the TV show Sliders. So, in the world of Sliders, which we've dissected a bit in the past, for those of you who have followed my show here, this is C4CW, casting 495 celebrities worldwide. I am one Sir Grove, the host of this show, and if you are true fans, then IWE495 most certainly appreciate you. So, Sliders TV show. Let's take a look. And here we go. All right. 1995 sci-fi, 5 seasons. Let's check out the cast here. Let's see. Okay. There's Jerry O'Connell, Cleveland Derricks, Sabrina Lloyd, John, is it Reese Davies? Carrie Werner, Charlie O'Connell, Tembi Locke, Robert Floyd, Will, is it Sasso? Michelle Burke, Lachlan Monroe, Austin Nichols. And let's see, what does IMDb say about it here? 1995 to 2000. What does IMDb have to say about, okay, let's see. Series cast and crew, produced by, who produced it? Let's see who produced it. It says executive producer of 47 episodes, David E. Peckinpah. And it says co-executive producer, executive producer of 40 episodes from 1998 to 2000, Bill Dial. And let's see, there are many other producers, and it goes on, but those are the top 2. All right, so let's see here. Casting directed by, who directed 37. There are many different directors. The first 2 that pop up are Richard Compton, 12 episodes, 1996 to 1999, and 7 episodes, 1997 to 2000, is David E. Peckinpah. All right, so we have those top 2. And let's see. I want to just get some basic fucking information. Okay, IMDb, can we get some plot and shit like that? Can we get some synopsis? Okay, this thing wants to fucking play games, obviously. That's what, you know, the internet does sometimes. Let's just jump to the Wikipedia because IMDb is not cooperating as quickly as I would like for it to cooperate. Oh, Wikipedia has a little message about some shit, and I'm just gonna not even fucking read that. So, let me see. All right. No, you know what? You know what? It actually makes my point. So it says, COVID-19. With the uncertainty surrounding the outbreak of the coronavirus disease, COVID-19 pandemic, we want to reassure our readers across the globe that our volunteers are working to bring you a trusted source of unbiased information. Yeah, fuck off, dude. No, you're not. Wikipedia loves to Wikipedians and some of the different mods, they're fucking pieces of shit. And they don't want for the public to know certain things about certain things, and they're just fucking stupid assholes. They think that they actually control the continuum, that is the space-time continuum, the timeline. And so to that, I would say, fuck off, Wikipedians, those of you mods who are stupid motherfucking pieces of shit. And I'm one Sir Grove, and I fucking said so. Now, getting to Sliders. Quote, Sliders is an American science fiction and fantasy television series created by Robert K. Weiss and Tracy Torme. It was broadcast for 5 seasons between 1995 and 2000. The series follows a group of travelers as they use a wormhole to slide between different parallel universes. Torme, Weiss, Leslie Beltzberg, John Landis, David Peckinpah, Bill Dial, and Alan Barnett served as executive producers at different times of the production. For its first 2 seasons, it was produced in Vancouver, British Columbia. It was filmed primarily in Los Angeles, California in the last 3 seasons. All right. Genre, science fiction, fantasy. And it says everything that you had heard by from IMDb. It's just the same information. And it was released on Fox Network originally. And the very first release, it says here, March 22. So 22 March 1995 to 29 December 1999 in the UK. And for the United States, it says 2000. The year 2000, 4 February, year 2000. So that was the original release. Let me just double check this information here. Because it has 5 seasons between 1995 and 2000. How the fuck was the original release in the year 2000? That doesn't even jibe with my memory of the show. I saw the show way before the year fucking 2000. So that's weird. I don't even know. It says first shown in 1995 to 2000. Original release 4 February 2000 US. How could that be the fucking first time? That doesn't even, what are they talking about? It says the original release was in the UK. 22 March 1995. To the year 29 December 1999. And then it's lit. That's for the UK. It's saying that it was first released in the UK in 1995, and it wasn't released in the US until the year 2000. And I don't fucking believe that. That doesn't make any sense, and fuck that shit. That's stupid to me. That's fucking stupid to me. I don't even get it. But it says, since its debut on 22 March 1995, the first 3 seasons were broadcast by the Fox network. After being canceled by Fox, the series moved to Sci-Fi Channel for its final 2 seasons. The last episode first aired on 29 December 1999 in the UK and was brought... See, the last... Okay, wait. The last new episode. Since its debut on 22 March 1995, the first 3 seasons were broadcast by the Fox network. After being canceled by Fox, the series moved to Sci-Fi Channel for its final 2 seasons. The last new episode first aired on 29 December 1999 in the UK and was broadcast on the Sci-Fi Channel on February 4. Whatever, man. It just, again, it's not clear about it having debuted in the United States. I'm pretty fucking sure I saw the original Sliders before the year 2000. I'm pretty fucking sure I saw it way before the year 2000. So, let me see here. Here's the plot. Quote, the show's titular characters are a group of people who travel, that is slide, in parentheses, between different Earths in parallel universes via a vortex-like wormhole activated by a handheld timer device. While the slide technology was intended to return them to their home universe, Their premature use of the timer to escape a dangerous situation has caused the timer to lose track of the coordinates for their home universe. Now they are forced to slide between universes, spending anywhere from minutes to months there, waiting for the timer to count down to the next time they can open a vortex to a new universe, hoping it is their original one. Failing to use the vortex to slide at that point would mean they would be stuck in that universe for nearly 3 decades. That's 30 years until they can open the vortex again. While waiting for their timer countdown, the sliders frequently explore the nature of the alternate universe and often become caught up in events of that world. Some of these universes are based on alternate timelines where certain historical events happen differently from the history they know, such as one where, BAM! No fucking shit! Yo! I swear to God on my life, on my honor, as a man in this world universe, this out of all of the motherfucking seasons, this is exactly the very first one fucking described. What a motherfucking coincidence. Listen up, audience. I did not plan this way. Of all of the fucking 5 seasons, I've been thinking about this episode for the longest fucking time. Because, man, as I travel around, I swear to God, this is fucking true. Listen to my voice. I will take a lie detector test. Military fucking grade. Listen, I did not plan this. This is too fucking weird, too coincidental. Listen. Of all of the there are actually 2 seasons that come to mind. The very first one, well, I'll tell you the second one that comes to mind, and then I'll tell you the one that's always been in the foreground of my mind. They went to this weird universe once where there were these really fucking weird, like big ass, humongous, like flying bumblebees the size of like hippopotamuses, like that flew, like bumblebees the size of like hippos that are flying like in the air in this really weird fucking landscape. So again, giant bumblebees are these bees of some kind, and they're these huge fucking things that are like elephant size, hippopotamus size. They're just these jumbo big ass fucking bees, and that was really fucking weird. So of all the 5 seasons, that one often comes to mind when I think of sliders. The first one, that was number 2. That's secondary. But the one that has always fucking stood out in my mind and that I was thinking about, I've even told you about it in this podcast before the coronavirus even fucking occurred. Listen to this. I'm talking about COVID-19, which is why I decided to read the little thing from Wikipedia. I was like, you know what? That's a perfect tie-in because it's all relational. Listen to this. Listen. I was thinking about this before the coronavirus. If you go back and listen to podcasts, some of you remember I even fucking talked about it. As I went to podcast tonight, as I saw the little COVID-19 shit that is a prelude to this Wikipedia piece, you know, it says at the top of the shit that I just looked up for sliders, it talks about COVID-19. And I wasn't going to read it for political reasons. I'm like, you know what? Fuck Wikipedia. But then I was like, you know what? It's actually perfect. It's actually very relevant as it pertains to what I'm about to share with you. For those of you who don't know what I've been alluding to for almost 15 minutes. It says right here, some of these universes are based on alternate timelines where certain historical events happened differently from the history they know, such as one where penicillin was never discovered. Penicillin was, again, I repeat for the audience, never discovered. Now that you have had a moment to think about that, and to wrap your minds around that, if you haven't seen the show Sliders is one of the raddest fucking shows of all time. It's right up there with Quantum Leap. It's almost the same. Listen, They're parallels of each other. They literally, in a parallel universe sense of it all, they actually fucking parallel each other. Because, what's his name? Blackula? Am I saying that correctly? We'll get to that in a moment. But listen to this. Penicillin was never discovered, or where America had lost the Revolutionary War, where others have entirely novel histories, such as one where time flowed in reverse. I forgot about that one. That one's a trip too. They're all a trip, man. Listen, I went back a couple of years ago, and I hadn't seen, I didn't remember the very beginning of Sliders. I was so young when it came out, and I don't even honestly know if I saw the very first one. I've seen most of them, but I don't believe I've seen all 5 seasons. So I went back a couple of years ago, and I found some like videos on YouTube or somewhere, and I watched the very first episode where he actually creates the time vortex technology. And spoiler alert, when he first creates the jump technology to jump between parallel universes, I can't remember if he created it as a college project, but I don't even know if he knew what it was at first, but it's like this I'll just say like black matter, like dark matter of some kind. It's this like field of energy that is created, and he, as an explorer, just like, fuck it, what did I just create in this laboratory? He actually goes through it. Like, I don't even remember if he knew what he had done, like what he had accomplished. There's just this like thing in this laboratory, this like energy field that was visible, where you could see this kind of like, if I'm not mistaken, it was kind of this amorphous kind of like field or like sphere of this like cluster of like energy. And he's like, what the fuck is that? Or some shit like that. Don't, I'm going to have to go back and look. That might be a false memory, but it's something like that. And he traverses it. And I can't remember if he looks at the clock or what happens, how he realizes that it's a parallel universe, but he uses it. He starts to experiment with it, and he's driving down the street. And was it LA? I think he's in like Los Angeles or some shit. And he realizes, because he's like, what the fuck is going on? And all these people are honking their fucking horns. And he's like, the light is red, man. What the fuck are you guys doing? I have to wait for the red light. But he sees these people going on red. And he's like, what the fuck? And then he realizes that all the cars stop on green. So in that fucking universe, the slight difference was that green lights you stop on, and red lights you go. And I think it was my biological cousin Rizzo. I could be wrong. Someone told me about the show, and I hadn't even thought about it until now, even when I've talked about Sliders in the past, not as extensively or as comprehensively. I think someone told me about Sliders, and I think I started to watch it. Actually, I think I watched it with my cousin from the beginning. There's no way we saw this shit in the year 2000 for the fucking first time. There's no way. There's no way, because I was in college at the time, and that was after high school. There's no fucking way. And in fact, it feels to me, and I understand it says 1995 on Wikipedia, and I'm not trying to be weird. I think I would have guessed that I saw it when I was in fucking high school. I stayed with my uncle. And I don't remember where I saw it. I think it was at a relative's home, and I'm pretty sure I started to watch it with my cousins, friends, and it became a regular thing where it was like, yo, we gotta see the next one. And we waited all like week to see the fucking next one. Like, where are they gonna go this time? So, listen, penicillin. If you go and find the episode of Sliders, it's almost like some of the shit. And it's so fucking crazy that out of the number of shows that they had over 47 or over 5 years, the number of shows the number of episodes that they created, let me go back to IMDb and see how many episodes there were. 1995 to 2000. Of all of the TV series, 60 minutes, 7.4 out of 10, which is pretty high. 7.4 out of 10 for IMDb is confirmed in my mind, man, that it's corroborated by the crowd. Excuse me. That it's not a stupid ass show. 7.4 rating on IMDb is pretty fucking good, man. That's a high score. That's a pretty fucking high score. And it has 15,632 people who have voted. And it says a boy genius and his comrades travel to different parallel universes trying to find their way back home. And I have seen the last episode, and I don't want to tell y'all, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but for those of you who have seen the last episode, yo, that's some of the coldest shit ever. Listen, I'm not going to give it away. That would be so fucking wrong and so unethical on many levels. I do have to say, and this isn't to spoil it, I'm not going to give it away. I'm not. I know you're probably like, come on, Grove, you're about to give it away. I can't do that. It goes against my beliefs, and it would be fucking wrong. I'm just going to say this. The end, it's kind of like the end of, Inception. It's kind of like the end of Inception, man. It's kind of like the end of Inception, man. I'm just saying, is it really the end? I mean, listen, I'm not giving it away. I'm not giving it away. Okay? Listen. So, in that universe world, similar to Quantum Leap, yeah, similar to Inception, yeah, listen up. You just got to ask yourself, man, is it really the end in terms of this Sliders' very last final episode? Look, in the world of John Teeter, when he talks about 2 degrees of divergence in terms of the difference between the different universes, look, if you're not familiar with Sliders, and if you're not familiar with how time travel really truly works, time travel is really time displacement. So going in between universes, sometimes a universe isn't some weird thing where there are these jumbo fucking bumblebees flying around. That's why it's also listed as fantasy. If we're talking about just simple travel to parallel universes where there are not jumbo bumblebees, I mean, who am I to say that there isn't somewhere where there are some fucking crazy flying big ass like jumbo sized bees? I mean, look, man, there are spiders, arachnids in, I believe, what is it, Iraq, that I saw during Gulf War 1 and 2 in the news that are the size of fucking soccer balls. Yeah, they have spiders, man, arachnids that are the size of fucking soccer balls. Now, if you're afraid of spiders, and you see that shit, that might freak you out. Because I saw that shit and I was like, damn, that looks like a sea creature. It's a fucking arachnid. It's literally a spider the size of a soccer ball. And its exoskeleton is thick material. It looks like a fucking crab, but it's technically an arachnid. I saw that shit and I was like, yo, that spider is a trip. So imagine you're a soldier in Iraq and you see one of these things walking across the ground and it's a fucking spider the size of a soccer ball with the shell, with the shell, like egg shell. It's like egg shell, but like tough, like crab, like thick crab, like material for its body structure. So, I don't know, maybe there's some fucking universe, man, where there are giant-sized bumblebees flying around. Maybe they have them somewhere on Earth and we've just never seen them before. Most scientists have never, there's no recorded, history, but maybe they're here. Who knows? In some underground, like inner Earth or Agartha. Some say Agartha, some say Agartha. It's been spelled both ways and pronounced both ways. The inner Earth, where it's said that there's light. Light is somehow inside the Earth, and that there are underground oceans, and there's some type of atmosphere there, and there are beings there. Yeah, like there's some type of atmosphere with sunlight inside the Earth. Don't ask me, man. I don't know, but apparently under the North Pole and the South Pole, there are these either artificial environments in which these beings live, or somehow they've figured out how to get light inside from our sun. So, believe it or not, I'm not here to persuade you or to try to get you to believe something. That's not what I'm here to do. You make up your own mind as to what is real and what is unreal. I'm talking about this particular episode of Sliders in relation to what I have been seeing on this current timeline at the time of this recording. It's so coincidental that of all and I had the seasons brought up here. 5 seasons, it says over, Cleveland, he's in 87 episodes. Jerry is in 70 episodes. Carrie is in 49. And then Sabrina, 48. John is in 40. So 87 episodes. It shows, if it shows that Cleveland was in 87, well, fuck, there are at least 87 episodes. That's a lot of fucking episodes, man. And, let's see, Sliders, how many episodes? Sliders, hold on, bear with me. Sliders, yes, TV show, and then total number of episodes. Total episodes. All right, let's see what the number is. 88. There are 88 episodes. 88 episodes, and so 12 times 6 is 72. So if you would spread these out over a 6-year period, if you'd spread them out 12 times 6, 12 per year for 6 years, you'd have 72. And obviously that number is kind of relative and close. 88 divided by 12 is 7.3. And it was, let's see, was it 88, right? Wait, is that right? Did I say 88? Hold on, double check. 88. All right, hold on. Yeah, I did. Just want to double check, make sure I get this information correct. All right, and then equals fucking stupid bitch ass calculator. Come on. All right, here we go. So 17.6 on the average per fucking year, right? 17.6. 17 times 5 is 85. 17 point, yeah. So close to 18 episodes. 18 times 5 gives us 90, so that number's too high. So yeah, so almost 18 episodes per year. Almost 18. Less than 20, almost 20. So 17-ish episodes per year. 17 episodes per year. Of 88 fucking total episodes, I told you the two that have always stood out in my mind. Jumbo fucking flying big ass, humongous bumblebees. And then the episode where that universe had never discovered penicillin. Because if you can find that episode where they hadn't discovered penicillin, it's kind of like the shit you fucking see going on right now with all of this like hysteria, hype, scare, fear, you know, with the social distancing and shit. Restaurants like caution taped up, like, you know, like caution tape like everywhere, you know, like it's a disaster scene, and it's like you can't sit in the lobby and it's all takeout and you have to put your device over here so they can scan it so you can pay and you can have no human contact, and it's like the streets are virtually empty and people can only go out at certain times to get grocery, you know, just some ridiculous shit, because humans thus far have not found a cure for the coronavirus. Yeah, just like humans had never found or discovered or even knew of what penicillin was. You know what I'm saying, man? Tell me that's not a fucking parallel. Speaking of parallels, come on, man. You know I've hit the nail on the head. How did we go from what we were doing with the booming, eagle, soaring, high, roaring, booming, roaring, soaring economy to being in this universe of fucking sliders? I'm just saying, man, if you haven't fucking seen it, they go into restaurants and they have bioscanners to scan for the plague, man. This shit is crazy. You buy a fucking burger and this shit is vacuum sealed. You want a burger? This shit is vacuum sealed. And everything is like dimly like lighted and shit. And people are like wearing surgical masks. This shit is fucking brazy. I'm saying brazy. So similar, parallel, and you know I'm fucking right, and you know that out of 88 fucking episodes, the fact that this episode has often been on my mind, how you can see on recorded human record that I even talked about sliders, not as in depth, but if you go back and listen, if you haven't already, I actually fucking talked about this on this podcast, C4CW. I actually talked about this episode of Sliders a long time ago on fucking record, way before the coronavirus COVID-19 outbreak. So you know it's been on my mind for a long time. I think I've talked about it a couple of times. And now that when I bring it to your attention, the audience's attention, and I look it up on I look it up on Wikipedia, lo and behold, I said lo and behold, it's the first episode that whoever wrote this into Wikipedia also talked about, mentioned, out of 88 fucking episodes that could have been mentioned. It happens to be the one that is pertinent to what is happening right now, and the one that I talked about it was a while, some months ago, I talked about this months ago, as in before the coronavirus outbreak. Maybe I even talked about it after as well. I know I've talked about it a couple of times. I talked about sliders on this show a long fucking time ago before the coronavirus outbreak. I know I fucking did. And you can find it if you go back and look at the list of over 1,000 different episodes of this podcast that I've uploaded. Do you remember when I told you, those of you who follow this show, All of life's riddles, mysteries, and questions are answered in the movies. All of life's riddles, mysteries, questions are answered in the movies. It's almost, think of it like this. It's almost kind of like the universal matrix. Like, let's say the universe is alive. Does that seem crazy? What if it's alive I don't mean alive in the sense that it's like biologically alive. I mean, the earth is, plants are. Some scientists know that plants have the ability to be aware. Yeah, they have consciousness. Oh yeah. Yeah, it used to sound like quackery, but we now know that plants are definitely aware of their surroundings and that they have some type of mind. We don't know where it's located or how it works, but they have some type of energy field that is a collective mind. And they know things that you wouldn't, plants know things that you wouldn't that the average person wouldn't know that the plant knows. So where's the brain? Where is it? Scientists don't know, man, but it's here. They can think. Yes, they can. And so check this out. I've studied fractal geometry. I've studied quantum entanglement, quantum mechanics. And I know that the human brain, there was a case in which this is what changed the world's view of science. There was a patient who had half of his brain, due to illness or some event, half of his brain was removed. Or he was born with like half a brain. And they thought that and I believe there have been a couple of cases or a few cases like this. But the very first time on recorded history, medical record history, that's documented in journals of medicine, the conventional wisdom thinking was that if you lose one of the hemispheres of your brain, then you in terms of left brain thinking and right brain thinking, you would lose one of those. You would lose the ability to be creative or mechanical. And left brain thinking versus right brain. You would have either only right brain left or left brain left, because that's what science told us. Well, as it turns out, that's not fucking always the case. Because this person, though, having half of that person's brain gone, that person had both right brain abilities and left brain abilities that were demonstrated. So what scientists learned was that what we believed to be true, this left brain, right brain, the brain actually, every cell, every little pixel of reality has your human brain mapped into it over and over and over again. Like a mirror image that goes on ad infinitum. Your brain isn't really this big thing, this mass of noodle-looking shit. That's not all there is to it. There are hidden components. And it was believed that if you removed half of that, then half of your ability to think was gone. Well, this person proved that it's not fucking true, always. And that's when scientists started to understand that the brain maps itself over and over and over again. So it's like there are these pictures, snapshots of your brain over and over and over and over again throughout that mass that is your brain. And as long as there's one pixel left, you still have your whole brain mapped inside of it, like encoded inside of it. Now, I know that is a lot for one to wrap her mind around, but it is absolutely true, as we have learned. So, what does that have to do? What does that have to do with what it is that I'm saying here? Well, the way it all ties in, the way it all connects, the way that it all relates, because I know for some people it seems like it's all over the place. It's all relational. So if the universe is sentient, I'm just saying, like, if the universe is alive, right? Maybe these movies that we make, that we script, that we write screenplays for, storylines, synopses, ideas for TV shows, sitcoms, fantasy, sci-fi. Maybe those thoughts are that we believe to be of our own will, volition, mind, having been originated. You know, like we come up with those ideas. Maybe they come from some non-local source, i.e. the sentient universe. And maybe the universe is telling us shit, like explaining things to us through films and stories that we think we created, when it's really the universe in the background of reality saying, here's an idea. You came up with it. Put it on a screen. Show it to people. Make a profit. Take that money and use it to help people. Be a philanthropist. Give to charity. Share your message, your vision, your idea with the world. I'm just saying, man, what a fucking coincidence. So check this out. Sliders, Fever, TV episodes, 1995. Fever. The Sliders race to find the cure for a deadly plague that is consuming the inhabitants of that dimension. Rating, 7.6 out of 10 stars. It says, again, this was 29 March 1995, 44 minutes. 281 people have given this an average 7.6 out of 10 stars. The Sliders race to find the cure for a deadly plague that is consuming the inhabitants of that dimension. All right? Let's get some more information about that. Fever. Sliders. Fever. All right? We need to find out. All right, come on, Google. Sliders Fever episode. All right, this is from Fandom, Season 1, Episode 5, Plot. Quote, we first see the Sliders in a world where San Francisco has discovered that oil is below it. They walk into a street party where Rembrandt picks up money some throw into the air. Then they find a place to slide to the next world. They would arrive. The world they arrive in is a place where the California Health Commission is in control of the city. What a fucking coincidence. Where the people have an obsession with cleanliness. What a coincidence. And unfortunately, the Quinn Mallory of that world is patient zero of a disease. They narrowly escape before Quinn is caught by CHC enforcers. As he and the professor try to get some aspirin from a pharmacy, which is more like an alternative pharmacy. The professor escapes to inform Rembrandt that Wade is infected with the Q, as in Quebec, by the man she kissed on the street that saved her from being ran over. A strep-like plague that has ravaged the world and that has infected as well. Wade escapes in a delusional state, and the professor and Rembrandt find her as they are surrounded by the Q-infected. They are escorted to a safe house where Q-infected people can live out their final days in dignity, as the protection camps are described as worse than a living death, where the local Quinn is in charge of it. When he gets confused why Wade acts like she knows him, Professor Arturo explains where they came from. Meanwhile, Quinn is subjected to a painful decontamination process, which confuses Dr. Morton and Dr. Stanley, someone the local Quinn was close to prior to his infection, as he has no Q infection. While Dr. Morton orders him to tell him how he cured the Q, threatening him with death, he tells the two he is from a parallel Earth multiple times to unbelieving doctors. Meanwhile, Wade is kept in a bed reserved for those who reach terminal cases of the Q. What a coincidence. Who progress to that stage of infection because her immunity is different. Rembrandt and Professor Arturo find out the history of that world and realize that penicillin was never discovered in that world. Wow. Rembrandt rescues Quinn from the CHC, who was aided by Dr. Stanley. Man, listen, y'all gotta go here to Sliders Wiki and look up exactly what I just shared with you. And you need to find that episode and you need to watch it. Tell me that I did not fucking pin it. I'm one Sir Grove. Yes. 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 Time is not static. In the future, we have decoded that space-time is actually malleable and thus changeable.